Yeah, just kind of quickly recapping after watching the tape, just really proud of the competitive character of the team in all three phases. Got, again, a ton of respect. I just thought it was a really good football game. Both sides, back and forth, making plays, competing. Came down, obviously, to the end there, and was happy with our guys that responded throughout the game. But then we always move forward, and really looking forward to this weekend's game. One, playing in Portland, a little bit different, but excited to get around a bunch of Beaver fans that live up that way, and excited playing in a cool venue, a soccer venue that I think is going to be great for a football game in the atmosphere. And so we're excited about getting up there and doing that, and playing a quality opponent that has our full attention. You talk about a team that's won a bunch of games last year, playing for a national championship in the national championship game last year. A couple of guys drafted off of their roster, so they got our complete attention on both sides of the ball, quality football, and our guys are going to have to prepare really well to give us a chance to win the game.
Okay, so you won the game Saturday. You didn't have any turnovers. Penalties were down on offense. Did you feel like you saw the typical improvement you would like to see from game 1 to 2?
I think we'd like to have a little bit more. I do think we were cleaner on that end. But after watching the tape, we mis-ID'd a few times offensively. Obviously, we dropped the ball, and we got more to us. I did think, the snap count thing, hostile place, that was better. But without a turnover, you score 34 points. You take that a lot of times offensively to score 34 without gaining a turnover, great field positioner type thing. So there's a lot to like, but I still think there's a little bit more to us.
What specifically did you not particularly? I didn't think you made a step forward in improvement.
Well, again, we got to catch the ball to stay on the field and sustain drives. I go back. We took a couple of sacks. We mis-ID'd a couple times in the run game. That did not show up as much in week 1. We dropped a few balls. So there's some steps we'd like to make there.
How do you fix the drops?
I think it's a little confidence and concentration. These guys are well capable of catching the ball, and so you make an emphasis again in practice, recreating that in practice, even during individual and where the ball was placed, the exact route they were running when they didn't bring it down.
Now that you've seen Fresno State, how good did you think that team was?
I think they're pretty good. I think they're going to win a bunch of games. I thought the quarterback, on tape, and I saw it in person, there were some big-time throws in there. We're around him a little bit. He's standing in there throwing strikes. They can separate man coverage. I think defensively, the physical tackle well challenged us, so I think they were good.
Defensively, only 1 sack. Watching them against Cal Poly, I thought you guys might have a little more success. Is that because of your scheme, or was that just because Hainer was getting the ball out? Yeah,
I think it's Hainer getting the ball out. We blitzed him a little bit, got the ball was coming out. I know they threw it a lot, pass attempt wise, but a lot of those, he wasn't going to sit there and hold the ball. He's a little more athletic than people probably give him credit for. He escaped a few times, so we would like to affect the passer more than we did.
No Corey Stover. There were some other guys. We saw Lolo Hea back in the lineup. How's injuries playing out?
Corey had been banged from the first game, and he was available, but didn't get him in the game, and the need to. Hopefully, he's feeling a whole lot better in this next week. Who else did you ask about? It was nice to get him in a limited role, but he played a little bit, and hopefully now he'll be playing a whole lot more this next week. Should be good. Yep, should be good. James Rawls should be good. Luke Musgrave will not. You will not see him this week. Hopeful to get him back in a few weeks, but not this week. Trey Lowe, same way. Trey Lowe aggravated it really on Tuesday, and so he might be a week or two away, but you won't see Trey or Luke this week. It's not a disciplinary, call it an injury. It's a non-football injury. He'll be back here in a week or two.
The big impact of not having Luke in there and how you guys are going to handle that now facing Montana State.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's going to be missed for a game. Made some big-time plays for us, but I do think we got some other weapons. And it's a little bit like I told the team yesterday, is, getting into week 2, 3, it's college football and next man up, and we got weapons out there in the backfield to throw it to, and we got some good tight ends in that room, so we're just going to have to adjust.
And you guys practiced at Providence earlier in fall camp. Any big takeaways from that practice going into what's going to be a different kind of venue,
Yeah, I think just getting there and seeing the venue itself, starting to imagine it full with a bunch of Beaver fans, I think it's going to be cool and fun. I think our guys are excited to get up there and play in front of our fan base.
So take me back, Fresno. Was that your decision to go for that, or was that the players that wanted to do that?
Well, yeah, ultimately, my decision. But we get the PI call. I thought it was late in communicating where the ball was going to be placed. Was the PI in the end zone or not? And there's a difference there. If it's in the end zone, it goes to 2. Obviously, if it's half the distance. So we're waiting on that. Got that solidified. Started thinking about our red zone defense and our ability to keep them out of the end zone. Talked about a call or two, sent the field goal unit, and we were kicking it. And we did kick it, actually, before they called timeout. Then flipped the script. Decided to, look, you're going to kick this field goal. The best thing you can do is tie the game. You still had a chance to lose it, no opportunity to win it, and so went with the call to give Coletto what he had scored on previously earlier in the game. They call timeout again, come on over, and this is the truth. Jack comes over, I'd rather do this. I'd rather have this call. I think this is better. Look him in the eye and okay, let's do that. So Jack calls it, and obviously he scores.
Your defense gave up a bunch of yards, but really competed in the red zone and kept you in that game in that second and third quarter where it felt like they just had the ball for the entire time.
Yeah, they're tough and they can move it, and they're tough to stop. Again, stats are what they are. It comes down to scoring points. I think the same thing for us on offense. We're not trying to every game just rush for 200 yards or something. We're trying to score. And so it was a great job by our defense to keep them out. There's a huge difference, and played out in that game, the difference between 7 and 3 points.
Oladapo obviously had 15 tackles, but it seemed like more than that. He didn't allow their receivers any yards after the catch, pretty much. He seemed like he was right on them as soon as they caught the ball. Was that kind of what you saw?
Yeah, I thought he played well. We asked him to play a lot of coverage, man coverage, and had a great game. Now, when they're completing a bunch of balls on you, you can have opportunities to make tackles, and we were glad that he's getting them on the ground because, again, they're good. I thought he had a really good game. He's one of my favorite stories on this team from where he started as a freshman, what he's done on and off the field, developed, turned into one of our leaders, a voice, and a really good player.
I was going to ask that. We've known he can tackle and hit.
Yeah.
Coverage, it's been a work in progress,
Again,
hasn't it?
well, yeah, and I go back to Fresno, how good those guys are. They did. I mean, we got 2 veteran corners, and they challenged those 2 guys outside a little bit, but they were going to throw it interior on, our nickel or safety. Credit to them, good scheme. But Catan did a really good job competing throughout the night.
It's 2 of the guys that you forgot to ask about. Julian, he did play again. Did you make the trip?
He did trip. He's practiced a little bit more. We're anxious to get him back and going. Hopefully this week through practice he'd get to a point where he's ready to go in the game.
And then where does Hayes was a little limited with it? It's groin or something.
Yep, he's been a little bit limited, and the way Atticus has been kicking off, we felt good about that, and so we still feel good about Everett doing the field goal thing, Atticus on the kickoff, and when Everett gets fully healthy, we got both of them.
Did you like the kickoff coverage in the game?
Could have been better, so we could have placed the ball better a little bit. And again, they got a good returner. We knew that going in, but it could have been a little bit better.
Montana State's their quarterbacks are going to run a lot. Because you saw a guy, Boise, can run a little bit, does that help you at all, or is it totally different?
No, I think it helps you a little bit. Again, that game, Boise, adjustments within the game. Now we get a week to kind of prepare. They've got a couple of guys they can put back there that can make plays at quarterback. So, and it's dangerous. It's tough to defend when they can throw it and the quarterback can run the ball, which they present problems that way.
Just back to that game-winning play, trusting Jack. I mean, not a lot of coaches or not every coach would trust their player in that situation. Where does that come from for you? Was there a moment in your coaching career where you made that switch to trusting your players in those situations where maybe other coaches would use more conventional wisdom? Right. Where did that kind of develop for you?
No, that's been a little bit, like I think about it, I coached quarterback for a long time. And there'd be some situations, whatever, third down, TV timeout. Hey, what do you like? You like this or that? And you want the quarterback to feel comfortable. And I go back to this trust thing. Yeah, Jack on the particular play, it came to really trusting that offensive line, those tight ends on the 2-yard line, fully confident in their ability to create space for Jack.
So tons of discussion on social media about Fresno's last drive, and you guys brought the house, basically just left Jaden Grant.
Yeah.
And they completed the big pass.
Yep.
What was the thought process on that blitz?
Loved it. Loved the call. And I'll tell you why. So there's about a minute left. And we needed one. We were down or up 3 by trying to forcing them backwards, holding them then to the field goal. Also declaring the thing by them scoring allowed 50 some odd seconds, saved our 2 timeouts. You think about if we play some softer zone coverage, they run the ball for a gain of 2. Either we're calling timeout or tick, tick, tick. That's where it was. Yeah, did I love that they scored? No. But I love the call by Trent, understanding where the game was at and forcing the issue at that point to save us the time.
Changing gears now with Montana State. Did you catch any of the football games this weekend? I mean, the Sun Belt won 3 big games.
Right.
Is that something that you can point to your locker room and say, hey, these other divisions, the lower divisions can?
Yeah, well, we respect everybody we play. They've seen college football, this year, last year on what, 1AA had done. These guys are good. They're going to have our full attention. They know how to win. They've got good players. They've got good schemes. I do think our guys will understand that this will be a challenge.